This is Things I Found Online with Louise Palanker, Joe Cipriano, Larry Morgan.
And our special guest is Devon Suraco.
Prepare yourself. Radio legends are exploring the internet.
That was wonderful. I'm Louise Palanker. Ooh, it's spooky. Happy Halloween. Joe Cipriano is trick-or-treating with his nieces, and we have some photo evidence. Someone is dressed like French fries.
Yummy.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Jasper likes this one.
Here we go. This is directly from Florida. And
Yeah.
wow.
In Florida, they dress like French fries. And then there's Joe and Ann. How cute. And then there's a bunch of trick-or-treaters. Yay! Happy Halloween!
Yay.
Happy Halloween.
So give us a call, Joe, or anyone who's listening, really, and tell us your Halloween stories at 888-5... Oh, I think I forgot to type the area code to Joe. It's 888... I'll type it right now. 888-531... Let's see if Joe calls. 7171. I'm hitting send. Let's see if the phone rings.
Right.
If your name is Joe, you get to call. So we're exploring the internet on Halloween, and one of the scariest things you can do on the internet is online dating. Am I right? Am I right? Ah, kids.
Absolutely.
Look away. Don't ever stare directly into the profile.
The Tinder.
It damages your heart. So one of the things that I wanted to, I did a lot of Googling, because here's the thing. See, Larry and Joe and John and I were married. So this is not a part of the internet that we explore. So we needed...
Says you. Oh.
We needed a spy on the inside. That's right, Hercules Suraco.
Hercules Suraco.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
And so...
I'll take it.
So according to the internet, these are the top online dating sites.
How many pages do you have there?
Well, some of this is my script.
I know, but how many dating sites are going on these days?
Let me elaborate.
Good Lord.
There's Zeusk.
What?
Zeusk.
Is this 2002?
Could be. It's like right underneath MySpace. So,
There you go. Zynga.
And it's described as tons of matches based on your preferences.
Okay.
And then there's a match, making successful matches for over 20 years. Is that the one where you fill out the whole survey thing?
I think that's one of them. That's you see I guess they're still
eHarmony.
pretty. eHarmony, I think, is a survey, but Match,
Yeah.
you see those relevant. They're still like relevant. It's like some dude who's like walking in the middle of Central Park, and he's talking to some super gorgeous chick, and it's like, "How come you don't have a date?" And she's like, "Oh, you're an actor. That's what." But, I mean, that's. But then they're like, "Oh yeah, you can go on Match, and look, you passed by Jimmy 10 feet ago, and he's into similar things as you, and yada yada."
Yeah, they're spending a ton of money on advertising.
Yeah.
Match still going strong.
Match is going strong.
We're trying to, anyway.
There's one called Our Time, and this is dating site
For
for
elderly.
50-plus singles looking for love.
I was kidding.
I would guess that they frown on the hookup culture. Frown on
You
it.
never know. You never know.
Elite Singles is serious online dating for professional singles. Don't know how they filter out the unprofessionals. Maybe if you're not wearing a collared shirt.
Come on, you can't lie on the internet.
I said, you look very unprofessional. You can't lie on the internet. Funniest thing said today so far. There's eHarmony. I think that's the one where you take the test and the personality test, and like Scientology, they can fail you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a personality.
You can get kicked out of eHarmony for not having a personality?
I've talked to people that took the personality test. It's designed to match you.
Yeah.
And they come back and they say, yeah, we don't have anybody that would match.
Actually,
in the entire world,
Yeah.
in our entire database of tens of thousands of people, not so much.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt.
They flunked eHarmony.
start binging Friends.
But they describe themselves as trusted dating site for long-term relationships.
All right.
And then there's Black People Meet,
There you go.
online dating for Black people looking to connect, and that one woman who thinks she's black. I forget her name.
Yeah. I'm sure she's going to do great.
And then here's a good one, Single Parent Meet,
Ooh.
bringing together single parents.
Just get it out of the way.
They
You know
do-
what you're getting into.
They do start to drill down to kind
Yeah.
of very specific. I actually found some real live actual ones.
Okay.
Fat bastard dating.
Nice.
Just really like incredibly overweight tattooed dudes.
Ah,
Really? Personals.com for
you have to roll your R's to get
cat
in?
lovers.
Oh, for cat lovers.
Gluten-free singles.
Okay.
Gothic match.
Metal.
Yeah. Love horse, which sounds
Wait,
like it
wait,
should
wait,
be
wait, stop,
it
stop.
should totally be illegal. It's dating for horse and country lovers.
Isn't that farmer? They got the farmersonly.com.
They have, and something called Farmer Wants a Wife. They have more than one farmer dating site, Devon.
This country music is taking the nation by storm.
And here's one that I just I knew it had to happen. StarTrekDating.com.
Oh, wow.
By the way, that's all men and 3 girls.
Yeah.
So meetaninmate.com.
And they are
Oh, it
popular.
just gets weirder.
Meetaninmate.com.
Meetaninmate.com.
What are you in for?
Wait, clown dating. There's clown dating. Oh, no. Okay, sorry, Louise. I didn't mean for this to take over.
No. I had a list just like yours. I love
I'm
it.
sorry.
That's exciting.
Here's one for sea captains.
Devon, for your homework,
need a
would
first
you
mate.
please join all of those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then next week report
Wait, you're
back to us?
assuming I'm not on all of those?
I don't know if... I know you're on clown, but I didn't know
Fat
you...
Bastards is probably my
Yeah.
favorite.
So there's internet dating tips. Now, because a lot of people watching the show are just like, okay, you guys like to laugh because you're married, but for people that are seriously looking for love,
I don't know
like,
the connection
like
there.
our Devon right
oh,
here.
yes, poor
Yeah.
Devon.
Yeah.
This is serious business.
Yeah, I know.
And also, if you run an online dating company, it's serious business.
Well, let me ask you this, Wheezy.
Yeah.
As I'm a longtime married person, and you are coming up on, you're at 10 years now?
Well, we've been dating, we've known each other, I think, for 11 years.
You've been in, okay, so
we just
11.
passed our 6-year anniversary.
So does the idea of dating right now just strike fear into your heart if you...
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I would just be alone.
I would, you mean opt for that?
Yes.
Yeah, this isn't a cry for help. It's
No.
just,
No.
nope, I would just not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I might just go find be a monk or something.
Yeah, because it's,
I don't envy you, Devon, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
here's the thing that happens when you get married. They move in. Did you know? It's...
Well, in most cases, yeah.
Yeah.
In theory.
And so there's like a commingling of all your, blankets and pillows.
Oh,
and-
yeah, just having...
Yeah, so a whole new person doing that. Like, I just got used to the one I have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And smells. There's certain smells.
Well, he smells nice.
No,
but
but you're used to it.
Right,
Ron
right.
might smell like awful, but you're
This-
just kind of used to it.
this whole thing that
He
humans
doesn't,
do,
by the
where
way. He
you,
smells great.
Lovely man.
this thing that humans do, where they see this there's this yearning that you have when you're not married, that you have to hearken back to what that felt like. You were not a body at rest. You were
Right.
in motion,
Yes.
seeking that person.
Yes.
And once
who fulfilled your the void in your life that could be
Right.
filled with that connection and affection.
You're in a state of constant crush,
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't been in for the past 10 years, but all you have to do is recall back to that when you're looking for love, when you're not in a relationship, I think we're kind of predisposed to sort of be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
I just think that's a normal human.
Yeah.
Now, some people choose to stay single, and that, that is fine. That's fine, but I don't know. If you're single and you've decided I'm going to be single forever, do you still get crushes like on Anderson Cooper or whatever? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like whoever's out there.
Well, Larry,
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, we all have a crush on
it's not
Anderson
bad.
Cooper.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Don't
Silver
we all?
Fox.
it's a given.
We're all on board on that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I just think that it's kind of a natural human to be seeking something that fulfills your heart is sort of a natural.
So you're
human-
saying because we're in committed relationships and happy with them, that we don't even have that switch has just basically been disconnected.
I do. For me, it
yeah.
has been.
Me too.
It's not that sense of urgency or looking at the phone and that when you look at the phone and it's your husband, you're like, oh, it's my husband, but it's not like, like when you're single, it's this gasp.
There's a whole different energy going on there. Yeah,
Yes.
you're like burning
Yes.
calories just dealing with it. That's why
That's-
Devin's so
it's
skinny.
exhausting.
Look at him.
It's
Look at him. He's in
exhausting.
great shape.
Well, it's
because
also
he's-
the crystal meth.
Okay.
But,
That can help, sure. It's all part of a well-balanced diet.
absolutely. Only a little bit. If you do a little bit, it's fine.
Oh, good. All right. If you learn anything today, kids,
Moderation.
Moderation, kids.
Jasper.
everything.
Right.
So you want some tips?
So tips. So if you're looking, I think online is now that's where people look, and you can kind of bypass a lot of the has this person been in prison? Like you can.
Yeah,
You can know that before the date.
I would hope that filtering process happens on whatever site you're on.
Yeah, like you can kind of
except for inmates, find an inmate.com.
There, it's a strike against you if you haven't been.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing here? You don't get us. But if you're online dating, it's a normal place for singles. It used to be kind of like, you'd go to like a dating coach or something and people would be like, what's wrong with her? But now it's like everybody's online. Like if you're single, you're just online.
Yeah.
Looking, as one of your options.
It seems weird, I think, to you and me to go this route, but it is so common now.
Yeah.
And I guess if you think about it intellectually, it does start to kind of narrow down choices. It gives you a little bit of a head start. I certainly never loved the idea of hanging out in bars, meeting people.
No.
And other than that, I was just at work all the time. So dating people at work has its own treachery involved.
It does indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are online dating, if you're single and you're looking for love, I found a blog by Dear Wendy Atterbury. She has her own Facebook page where you can ask her for advice. And she has 15 tips for online daters. Take it away, Larry.
Yeah, and most of these just seem like common sense, but I guess maybe a lot of people are not using good common sense on dating sites. Devin's shaking his head. No. First one seems pretty obvious. Post a recent photo of yourself that's flattering and actually looks like you.
All right, so what she means by this is don't post the best picture of you ever taken. Mm-hmm. You want to, when you walk into the coffee shop, you want your date to recognize you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be like a tremendous disappointment.
I'm guessing that's probably not only the number one tip, but the biggest complaint of anybody online dating is going, they didn't look like their picture at all from 15 years ago.
Exhibit A, Devon?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have any instances where this happened to you?
Oh, yeah, of course. Back in the MySpace days before the Tinder and everything like that, I was talking to this girl online, and she was pretty cool, and we ended up meeting up together. And the only way I could describe it, I'm just like, wow, in person, she's a velociraptor. I don't understand. Nothing like the photos. Like
nothing.
Yeah.
So how quickly do you bail out of that situation, or do you give it a chance?
Unfortunately, she had to spend the night, so we ended up hanging out.
She devoured you.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
meat eater.
Those velociraptors.
I didn't want to be
quick.
rude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. At least you're polite.
Yeah,
All right, tip number 2, be unique and specific in your profile. Everyone, quote, likes to have fun, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So be specific, like what is it about you that makes you seem interesting, or like, I bake butterfly cookies. So.
Love to party.
Love to party.
Yeah.
So, don't be afraid to just, you may think that your interests are too specific, but people do enjoy knowing more about the person than just love to have a good time.
Yeah, it's like, I enjoy playing music and doing theater, but if I just say, I enjoy doing stuff, like oh, cool, me too.
And I think the be unique thing is important too, because you might as well, put out there the thing about you that is maybe the most interesting, at least to you, and let somebody find that. That's a great way to start. That's a great connection. What would that be for you, Devon?
In one of the profiles I had a very specific quote from like an episode of 30 Rock or something, like just a classic, Jack Lemmon quote that, I think like one or two girls got it out of like a bunch, and like so a lot of them were like, "What? That's weird. That's a weird quote." And
So
I'm
that's like your filter.
yeah,
I like that.
Like if you get the reference, like when Hamilton writes to Angelica, she's going to get that Macbeth reference because she's Angelica. Hey, did you guys Google
put a comma Angelica?
What a way to drop in the fact that you just went to see Hamilton. Thanks
Again.
very much.
I still haven't gone once.
my dearest, Angelica. Did you Devon's? We forgot to Google Devon. We Google all of our guests.
That's right.
Yeah, we need to Google Devon. So
that's a great tradition.
I'm on the Googler.
So, but when you first Google Devon, that's his actor page. But when you first Google Devon, there is a quote that comes up on the right part of the screen.
Is there?
Just put his name into Google. Just put in Devon Suraco and Google him, and you'll see. I don't know if people ever Google themselves, but doesn't it show on the right side of the screen like a little? Oh, it did when I Googled him. Maybe your Google is different. But it sort of brought up a quote that you said if you have to ask, I'm too expensive or something like that. I don't know where I found
Yeah,
it.
that's, that sounds about right.
Is that on your dating profile
Yeah.
too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so that's unique, or people would immediately get that you have a good sense of humor, or this kid's funny, or
Yeah. Well, you'd like to think so.
or they would just go, I don't get him, and move on to the next profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
All right.
is the point, I think. Number 3, avoid negative language in your profile.
That means like don't go in there and say like my last boyfriend was so horrible. I'm looking for someone sweet. Like don't be negative, or I guess seem like you're going to be kind of whiny,
Or have a quote like, I guess I'll try this one. I guess I'll try this now.
No, it
This is
doesn't
my
say
last
don't.
resort.
It doesn't say don't be passive aggressive because that,
I was gonna say, because I think I put in one at some point. I don't know. I was like, just here trying to find the next girl to waste 4.5 years of my life with. So,
That's
Did
not
that
so
work?
much negative as much as...
I got a couple of responses. They're like, "Hey, me too." I was like, "All right,
All
you know,
right.
for the prison guys who are doing 4.5 years, that would be perfect.
That might be, yeah."
Number 4, again, seems like common sense. Only respond to people who interest you.
Yeah.
Right?
But what she meant by that was like, don't think like, you know how you can start to feel, oh, well, I should go out with anyone who's interested in me and give everyone a chance.
Yeah.
Because your mom used to say, well, you never know. Just give everyone a chance. I mean, she's saying, no, if you're not excited to go and meet this person, then he deserves to go on a date with someone who does.
Right.
is.
Or if you're going purely by looks and nothing about their profile, of course they probably wouldn't match you up with them anyway. But if you just immediately see stuff like, I have zero interest in that.
There's no point in wasting anybody's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5, avoid Googling a potential match.
All right. This one is controversial, and here's why.
Interesting.
Here's why.
By the way, nobody's going to follow that tip, but go ahead.
Most people want to sort of rule out axe murdering. So they'll Google
Right.
Google for safety, I guess.
Yeah.
But what she's saying is you don't want to do too much research, because then when you're sitting down with the person, you may just snap and mention something you're really not supposed to know if you hadn't sort of been cyber stalking them.
Oh, a little bit stalky.
Yeah, like
Right. Like you're on Cincinnati. What?
But doesn't everybody sit down and do that?
Well,
Aren't you
she's
going to
saying-
want to look at their Facebook profile
Well,
and their
maybe
LinkedIn?
after the date. But what
Okay.
she's saying is like get to know the person like you would a normal person. That like if I met you at some radio event, we'd start talking, and I wouldn't already know a bunch of things about you because I hadn't Googled you before I stumbled upon you. Yeah. She's saying get to know him in a normal conversation, and then maybe Google.
I don't know. That seems like a great conversation starter. I see that you had cheesecake yesterday.
I wonder if she's also trying to.
Yeah,
like if
you were.
I like
following
cheesecake
me,
if
or-
you're like, scroll this way. Is that your girlfriend? You could know like too much and be too, maybe even on the attack. If there were,
I hear you.
I did hear about this story once about this girl who she swiped with this guy and thought he was cute, and they got to talking, yada yada. But I guess he was only in town for a week or so, so she, they wanted to go out. He had invited her out to dinner, but she recently had lost a lot of weight and had been dieting and exercising. So she was like, oh, due to my diet and whatever, why don't you just come here and I'll make some food, like harmless or whatever. But then they ended up like hooking up and stuff like that. She later, they were talking after he left town or whatever. She later Facebooked him or whatever, found out that he's married with like kids and all this kind of stuff.
So there's the other side of the controversial tip, which
Right.
is make sure that they don't already have a long-term
wife and
relationship
children.
and child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
All right.
let me blow through these next couple.
All
They're
right.
pretty basic. Keep your emails brief. Brevity, I think, is important. If there's interest, meet in person quickly. Protect your privacy. That makes a lot of sense. This is the scariest one, but I guess you have to think about this. Meet in public and tell at least one person where you'll be and what time you expect to be home.
It's just smart.
That's frightening. Oh, man.
I've met with a couple girls who were like, "Do you mind if I bring my friend?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, wasn't intending on like kissing you tonight or anything like that. We're just going bowling. So yeah,
Right.
sure, the more the merrier.
Yeah, I guess if you responded, no, come alone,
Nope, come
and
by
don't
yourself.
tell anyone where you're going.
Leave your cell phone at home.
Yeah.
That would be a red flag, I think.
think so. Yeah.
I think that advice is specifically for women who do have more of a safety issue when they're meeting someone that they don't know in real life. Like, don't go to his home and do let somebody know that you're going.
Yeah.
Because
Which if the guy isn't a psycho, like, should be totally fine with. Like,
yeah, he should suggest that you meet public too.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Not only am I glad I'm not dating, but I'm glad I'm not a woman and dating right now. That just makes me nervous.
Oh, man.
Plan a first date that can be short, sweet, and low-key like lunch or a coffee date. Make sense? Keep your options open. People, especially ones who are practically strangers to you, have a way of being flaky and can disappear.
So what she means by this is, like, even if things look really great, don't take all your profiles down and say I'm in a relationship until it's really clear that you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because people can suddenly get back with an ex or move.
And also everyone's on their best behavior those first few dates of trying to kind of please each other, and they could turn into nightmares.
Only later when the
Some
demons come out.
towns have sinkholes.
Yeah.
You know, people could
could fall into a sinkhole.
True.
Yes.
How many sinkhole dates have you had?
So don't take it
Devon?
personally.
2.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, halfway into a sinkhole.
She was a midget, so.
Don't take it personally if suddenly somebody who seemed promising is just gone.
Yeah.
You know, because I do answer advice on an app I have called Journals Out Loud, and especially a lot of kids, teenagers and stuff are just like, you know, someone went off to college and they like thought I was talking, like the new thing is I was talking to this guy, and talking with, that could be Joe. Talking with turns out means kind of a thing. Like what does talking with mean to you?
Well, you know, I mean, the lingo's different nowadays than the kids that were on journals, but talking, you know,
talking with
I
means,
guess it's like, oh, you know,
I think it means flirty talking.
Yeah, well, I say like, you know, like this one girl was like, oh, do you want to hang out? And I was like, oh, you know, I've kind of been like talking to someone, you know, so I mean, it's kind of like a nothing really serious, but it's kind of leading towards something, and I don't want to jeopardize that. You know?
Hey, Devon, Joe's calling.
Okay.
Hi, Joe.
Yep, we're trying. I'll keep reading these. Don't take the rejection personally. That's got to be hard.
That's just in life, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
but it's hard not to, you know, especially if you've gone and you've had maybe a couple, and then, or even just that first one, you think, that went all right, and they go, nah, I'm not really interested.
No, it's that
sucks.
I took out this one girl and like was super cool. Like, I paid for everything as a gentleman should. Guys, do that. And then, I thought everything was great. And then texted her later that night. I was just like, hey, I had a great time. And then never heard from her since. That was like 5 years ago.
Oh, and it still hurts.
Still waiting. Still waiting.
Oh, man.
I changed my phone number since then, but yeah.
There's so many intangibles when it comes to liking someone romantically that nobody can ever measure. So most of the people on this planet you will never date, and they are mostly awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really just one person that you have that sort of magical both ways click with. And so do not take it personal. It's not because, oh, she's to this or she. It just wasn't a click. It wasn't a connection. And that's fine because you can. It's like a job opening for one person.
Yeah.
And so it's perfectly fine. Look at it as a gift that lets you go find the person.
Well, it's like, I mean, like for me, I don't know about for other people, but like I was like fresh out of a pretty long-term relationship and then it's like, you know, talk to a couple people and then talk to this one person, and it was like kind of seemed like everything was clicking and checking off all the right stuff, and then so then you kind of start to get your hopes up a little bit. So then I think that's where rejection kind of gets a little more personal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Once it's further in, it's much harder to kind of not feel that way.
So.
Well, if your heart starts to get attached, and then it's not just like, oh, it hurts my feelings that he doesn't like me, but it's also like I was kind of in love with this person. So there's that, and there's also like the more the person gets to know you, the more you can feel that they rejected the actual you, because now they know the actual you. But it's still it means you weren't supposed to marry that person, because it would have been like 2 years of happiness and 5 years of hell getting a divorce or figuring out who gets the kid, you know, which is always
or the dog.
That's tough. You got to find that balance of don't put too high expectations on it, while at the same time don't be completely cynical about it and expect it to fall apart.
Yeah, because some things just are not meant to be, and if you think of it as saving you like 5 years of wondering who's texting him because he wasn't going to be trustworthy, or you just don't need that in your life. And so if you have to try too hard for it to be a thing, when you actually met your wife, Larry, wasn't it just like that? Oh, I get it.
Yeah. No,
This is how it's supposed to be.
Well, it wasn't the first meeting, but it was the first real kind of sit down conversation. It was maybe the second meeting, actually, I guess, when we actually had a real talk about something, and it wasn't incredibly deep, but it was something. It was about Sting and his movie that had just come out, Bring On the Night, about his first solo effort, and we talked about that for like 20 minutes, and we were big fans of it, and just it was inside look at him rehearsing, and and I just realized at that point, I mean, because those are the kind of things, sometimes music and books and movies, and you start with kind of really simple pop culture things or common ground in terms of background or whatever, and it was right away, it was like, not only did I dig that she was into it, but that we could have the same kind of conversation, that it wasn't just a surface thing, and there was something really deep going on there. Yeah, I mean, when I first met Charla, it was actually the second time we had actually had gotten together at a dinner with relatives, basically.
With Cordless.
With Cordless, right.
She has a sister named Cordless, and I call her sister Cordless because it's funny.
Yeah. No other reason. Because back in the day, we actually used to call things cordless, but now they just are, and nobody talks about it.
Cordless, but Cordless worked at. She answered the Kiss FM request lines.
No.
Wait, how did this come together?
Cliff was.
Oh, Cliff.
Yes, he answered the phone.
So Larry was a disc jockey at Kiss FM,
right?
And
I had a guy who answered phone back in the day when you actually had somebody answer the phones for you because they had a budget.
Yes.
And he met Cordless on the phone one night.
Cordless called into Kiss FM. This is such a good story. Yeah, go ahead.
And. And one she'll appreciate me telling.
Yeah.
Since they are no longer together.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but
she's still your sister-in-law. We love her.
She's still my sister-in-law, and she says basically that the whole reason, hey guys, if you guys are going to talk, can you pull that microphone down? No, just the level of the mic, because we're picking up everything you're saying over here. Awesome. Thank you. I'm sorry.
We have cords.
I know.
Go ahead.
Oh boy, am I really telling this? Yeah, so she started talking to him all the time, and they ended up dating, and he brought her up to the studio where I was working one night.
Okay.
And she said, I bet my sister would. I mean, she was always trying to connect me with her sister.
Right.
And I was resisting, and apparently her sister was resisting, and neither one of us really wanted to meet each other. And then her sister made the mistake of listening to me on the radio and definitely didn't want to meet me at that point.
Because you had a horn.
Because I was an idiot. I was an idiot on the radio.
Larry Morgan, and then he would honk his horn.
Is that your impression of me on the radio? Can you do that again?
If I close my eyes, I don't know who was talking.
Is that who it was? All right.
Well, who coined the term canaries? Was that Tom Murphy?
Canaries.
It was like these young disc jockeys, because he was the older, really, I was
the token screamer on Kiss FM at the time. I was way up here and screaming and yelling, and everybody else is 102.7.
Because you'd have Bruce Vidal, you'd have these
Bruce
deep guys that were just ironically deadpan.
Yeah.
You had Tom Murphy, and then you had the young kid that was I'm on Kiss FM, and I think Joe Cipriano also fell into the category of canary.
He was a more of a higher register guy, absolutely.
I think it was just not the register, but the excitement level
yes.
that made you a canary.
I was loud and yelling and screaming. So so after
Charlotte
my wife
heard
me on there, she had zero interest in meeting me. But after much pressure and I think actually rescheduling several times, they just were relentless about inviting us over. They had gotten married. We went over and had dinner at their apartment, and while they were preparing stuff, we were awkwardly sitting there talking, and we ended up just hitting off. I mean, really connecting. We talked about Sting's movie, Bring On the Night, had come out, and it was about the making of his first solo record after leaving the Police, and we just kind of got into it, and we had a real, same interest in it, but also the conversation, we were on the same, it wasn't just talking about it and liking it, it was actually deeper than that, and just kind of what we discovered about music. And, that's how sometimes things can start with just really surfacey pop culture stuff, But if you have that in common, could be a movie, a TV show, and then it just kind of, you have certain things, certain sensibilities that are the same that you can really connect on. And I immediately knew she was somebody I wanted to keep talking to with. Like that.
There's this whole vibration level that happens
Totally.
when you're with somebody that they get your tone of voice, they get your asides, they get your references. It's not just interests. It's
You know what it is? You don't have to work so hard.
Yes.
You don't have to work so hard. Because I was attracted. She was attractive.
She is
was,
adorable.
Yeah, she was. She's always been lovely, and so there was no doubt. I mean, I was way out of my league. I knew that. But
I don't know how you did this, Larry.
I don't either. But there was a point where
why am I getting the advice they're giving it?
But there was a point where it just wasn't. I mean, you have to work in relationships, but
Sure.
it wasn't work to make a connection.
The connection part
that
is
just
effortless.
existed, and
It
that's the
just-
thing.
It's like water flowing in
Yeah,
the same
that's when you
direction.
kind of know you're onto something.
Yeah,
Are
so
you
I don't-
taking notes here, Devin?
Devin,
Yeah,
That's
mental
what-
notes.
that's-
For sure. I'm a college boy. I got, yeah.
His response is perfect.
And you know,
oh,
Larry,
yeah, mental
Larry,
notes.
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
if the cards are in our favor this evening,
Yeah.
the whole thing has been recorded.
Oh, good.
Yeah, this whole conversation
See?
possibly
Fingers crossed.
may have been recorded.
All right. Can
Yeah.
I move on to the final two
Yes,
tips?
please.
Take a break if you're feeling jaded. I assume that means take a break from the dating site.
Yeah.
If you're starting to really sour on it.
Starting to feel like a beat cop.
Yeah,
you
if
know?
you're just starting to feel like a left swipe,
Yeah.
like I'm such a
another
left
one?
swipe.
Yeah. And also, and she adds, try different sites, which makes sense. Don't put it all in one, basket.
All right, so here's what we throw to Devin
Yeah.
and maybe even Thomas. Like, what is your take on the sites, and like, what sites do you like, and what sites should people stay away from, etc.
It's interesting, like, I guess Tinder's still super, super popular. Bumble's becoming a lot more popular too.
I'm hearing people mention that all the time.
Bumble, the cool thing about Bumble is, on Tinder, it can be kind of intimidating at times if you end up matching with somebody, and it's like that scene in the last Star Wars movie, like, okay, I talk first, you talk first, like who, like, what do you do? And opening lines are so crucial,
Yeah.
especially because this person has no idea who you are. They don't know, like that's in that sense, it's a little harder to meet online, I think, than in person, because in person you can kind of already, your opening line can kind of already be a joke that's like your personality. I mean, for me, that's how it is, And so the thing about Bumble is if you match with somebody, the girl has to message you first.
Oh, there's rules.
Yeah, and she's only got 24 hours to do that, and if that doesn't happen, then the match goes away.
There's rules,
Yeah.
and
Well, doesn't Tinder
there's-
have more of a reputation of being still kind of a hookup app?
Could have
More-
fooled me.
Oh, well, it may not be working
Yeah,
for you,
yeah,
but
that's true.
doesn't
I
it
think
have
that
that
might be it.
reputation?
Yeah, it's definitely got that reputation. I don't know. I mean, I've gone on a couple of dates with girls from Tinder that were strictly just hanging out and
Yeah.
maybe just trying to see where something was going. At the same time, I've had girls who were like, drive up to LA right now, and I'm like, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm in bed. What the, so it's
That happens?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Not a lot, but I don't know.
So, do you look at people's profiles to see if they're interested in a hookup or a relationship, or what? Can you put in your profile like, I'm really interested in a relationship, and then will people respect that, or?
Yeah. I mean, I like to think for the most part, so yeah, some girls are just like, a lot of girls actually is like, yeah, if you're looking for just a hookup, like swipe left now or whatever, you know what I mean? Some
Well,
people
probably because they're inundated with. I mean,
Yeah.
again, poor women who must have to look through so much stuff that they don't want to see and get so much crap, and then get retaliation when they don't respond.
That's why Bumble's a little more like classier in
Yeah.
the sense that the girl has to message you first, because on Tinder, if you're a guy and you're, for lack of a better term, a D-bag, you can send her a picture of your junk just right off the bat. And
You can send pictures on Tinder?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
do they have an inbox?
No, it's like you just put up the message and
Well,
yeah, you can
that's
send
the single
pictures, so-
biggest complaint about it
I
from
know
women.
you used to be able to,
But
but
I don't think you can. I feel like when I used it, you couldn't send pictures straight off the bat.
I know you can on Bumble, but again, you can't send it straight
Yeah.
off the bat.
That sounds
I don't
right.
remember. It's been a long time since a rock and roll, but
And we got a Zeppelin reference. Wow, how did we do
but
that?
yeah. So I don't know. I think Tinder still does have kind of a seedy reputation for for hookups and things of that nature. But I don't know. I mean,
is there something addictive about just scrolling through all the faces? Because I mean, we're kind of drawn to people's faces. Is that what makes it so attractive?
Is Tinder only about that kind of physical, like face connection, or is there an algorithm that actually connects you with people with like interests and stuff?
Well,
because it seems like the way people portray it is that it's just swipe, 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 swipe. Looks good, doesn't look good, kind of thing. Hot or not.
It's definitely it's definitely like for the most part, like 99% of it is just like yes, 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 no. Or if you're a guy, just yes, 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 yes. It's like a numbers game. You know what I mean?
Well, I know that they do with like Facebook now. They try to like send people that you have mutual friends with.
Oh yeah,
I was told that at least.
Yeah.
So,
It'll call it like connections or something like that. You'll see who, if you have friends in common who are also on Tinder as well, through mutual friends like that, which is a little dangerous, I think, because like, let's say you go on there and you find this girl or guy or something like that, you see that, oh, Sally's a mutual friend. You could just go to Sally's Facebook profile, search that girl's name that you were looking at on Tinder or guy's name on Tinder, find their profile, and then potentially like start messaging them on there and harassing them on there, which...
So by you could, do you mean I have?
I mean, I'm not a numbers guy. You know what I mean? Let's not talk.
So
No,
so you're saying there's a lot of guys that just swipe right, looking to connect with anybody who likes or finds them attractive.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is too, like if you've been off, like, and they have a thing, unless you pay for Tinder, which I think is probably I wouldn't pay for Tinder, but like,
is there a level of premium Tinder?
Well, yeah, there's like a level of like,
which is my favorite grade of meat, by the way. I don't even know what that means.
I got that at Stater Brothers the other day.
Yeah, that's premium Tinder.
So what do you get with your payment plan?
You get unlimited swipes.
There's a limit to
there's
the
a
swipes?
limit to swipes?
Well,
We're learning so much today.
This is so
weird. But my chest is tight just thinking about it.
It is.
Like, oh, God, I'm so glad I'm not doing any of this.
Yeah. When I first
Charlotte, I appreciate you even more right now than I ever have.
Cherish it. No, when I first did it, like, God, I don't know, it was like 6 years ago or something like that. It was unlimited, but it was still like new.
Mm-hmm. But so they wanted everybody just swiping.
Yeah,
just get in here and swipe.
So now it's like now that it's a thing that millions and millions of people have. They're trying to make some scratch off of it because they weren't making anything at first because it was just free. Maybe they had an ad pop up every now and again, but
I was gonna say it would be like Pandora, where it's like you're swiping, and it says, "We'll be right back to your swipe after this message from Esurance."
Yeah. Which ad experience do you choose?
All right, so people that have been on Tinder or some of these dating sites, like, what are some inside jokes or kind of running what has become a cliche that people who are on these dating sites would know that us married folk would not know?
You go to a girl's profile, she's like, probably only swiped because your dog. Like,
dogs and pizza.
Dogs and pizza. That's it. It's over.
So what does that mean?
Like girls love dogs. It's no secret. But it's funny because like a girl, like I'll match with a girl and then like it'll say that in her profile, but it's like I don't have a dog. I don't have any pictures of my dogs. So what does that even mean?
Wait, so you can't read her profile until she swipes right on you?
No, you can read her profile.
Oh,
but most people don't because how it works is you can
just swipey swipe.
Yeah, you can click on the picture and that'll bring you to her profile where it'll have like her music interests and it'll have a little short bio about herself. And you choose to really like, like swipe for your dog or take me to pizza or something like that.
I see. Okay, so pull up I want to hear your profile.
My profile?
Let's see what Devon wrote, and maybe even Thomas, are you online anymore?
I don't have it anymore. No.
Yeah, I just re-downloaded it for...
Look up Thomas Hubble.
Let's create one for Thomas right now.
Yes.
So I got Tinder. I got Tinder and Bumble, but
let's create one for Jasper.
Jasper,
who are you looking? What kind of...
No.
Friendster.
How old do you have to be to join Tinder?
18.
18, Jasper.
Yeah. Something to look forward to.
But then, like, you'll swipe with a girl, and it's just like, it says like, oh, Sarah, 22, and then first thing in her bio is, I'm not really 22, I'm 19. It's like,
my goodness.
Because what they do is they link it through your Facebook profile. So whatever your age is on Facebook, and if you were 14 or 13 when you made your Facebook profile and you had to lie those extra couple, because I think you have to be
Right,
16.
Well, back
right.
in, like our generation, I feel like it was more like you had to be 13. Was it
something like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like people would lie all the time.
So
a lot
people
of
would
in
lie
my
to
age
get
group are
one.
lying about it.
I
Yeah,
see.
weird.
And I just don't think that they knew to go in and change their birth date or something like that. But
So do you remember, does anyone remember when on MySpace everyone was 109?
yep, I think I'm
Because
still in.
they wouldn't put their
They ju-
actual birthdays.
They just didn't
in
want to
there.
say their age, and
Yeah.
you had to fill in something. So everyone was just 100 and something.
I'm
So it's like
100
I would
years
love to
old.
see that dating site between everyone who's over 100. So what do you got, Devin? Let's hear your profile.
Okay, well, my profile really has to go with number 14.
Oh,
Take a break if you're feeling
Take a break if
jaded.
you're feeling jaded. Okay,
But you know, I got a good picture here.
Yeah.
You know, right? It's
All right.
not.
that's nice. Can the camera see that
looks like
picture?
you.
Yeah, get nice and
Get-
Here
erect.
we go.
Get a nice tight shot. If you want to date Devon Suraco,
There
there he is.
There he is.
Oh yeah, I would.
I
yeah.
think that kind of looks like me. Right?
Yeah, I think the
lady.
ladies are swiping right on their on their Facebook screens.
So
That
yeah.
happened quick.
So what do we got?
No, that was the notification the Dodger game's about to start.
Oh, okay.
I got Devin, 27. That rhymes. My job is hanging out playing Nintendo, which is it's a reference to a movie called Basketball. So automatically, if a girl gets that, like, we're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
So
that's like such an obscure
so
movie.
No girls getting that. Go
Nope,
on.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right.
And then, but see, like I said, jaded. So my bio just says, "You're all fake. No one wants to meet up. What's the point? Here for a sick thumb workout."
Oh god.
That is the very definition of jaded. That is absolutely.
So,
Oh, Devin. Oh, man.
So how many matches a week do you get with that sterling
with the jaded bio.
representation of self-esteem?
how many does right now? It says I've got 55.
Oh, well, let's check somebody out. Let's go.
But then there's also that had this cool little feature right here. It's got a little. It's like gold kind of with a 10 and a plus.
Yeah.
That means that there are 10 plus girls who have liked my profile. I just don't know about it yet.
Ooh, is that somehow getting you
Well,
to?
like, you know, because if I'm not on the app, my profile's still on the app
So they want engagement. So there's this little trick to.
to get me to just do this right
Come
now.
back in.
Yeah, like oh,
Because I can just
10?
do this. I can just do this, and then like eventually, if it hits somebody,
See, the
Yeah,
whole
that'll
thing
be like one of those
about
things.
the whole thing that I find confusing about dating sites is that
see?
if you're
it's
say-
a match. Just
it's a
got
match. Okay, who have we got?
Let's see here.
Oh, boy.
If you're like a restaurant
Oh god.
and you serve good food, people come back because you've done your job well. If you're a
Right.
dating site and you've done your job well, they're not coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I don't know. See, I don't know about this one. You know,
Uh-oh.
she's cute looking though, right? I mean, she's not.
We
Oh,
we
yeah,
shouldn't
she's
show
cute.
that.
She's
We
not
shouldn't
bad
show
looking.
that.
We
Yeah,
can't because we
that's
don't
good.
know her.
We
I'll show you guys.
Can we read it though? We can read it.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Here's
right.
the thing. Kenzie, one profile picture,
Okay.
nothing in the bio.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
so that's so. What does that mean? Like that's a Russian spy?
I
No,
think so.
That's a.
I think it's
no.
Putin himself.
That's
actually.
Well, let's say it is a
It's
47.
Putin-
It is a
Putin's
47 year.
niece
Yeah.
or the professor.
Yeah. Yes.
No, it is a 47-year-old man for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
but
Well-
whether it's Russian or not, I don't know.
And the thing about Tinder too is a lot of the times like you'll match or I'll match with these girls who are like they're like supermodels and like,
So that's not the real picture.
well no, but I'll have like 5 different pictures and it's like it is a person,
Okay.
some person that does exist somewhere, but then like I'll be talking to my friends who are girls and I'm just like yeah, check me out. And they're
Right.
like, Devin, there's no way that girl really exists.
Right.
And if she does, there's something severely wrong with her because there's no reason why that girl can't go out and get a date the way she looks. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a good looking dude. And I'm on here. So, and then I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey, come over here, watch my private sex cam. I'm like,
Yeah.
All right.
There we
There goes
go.
that.
Right. There's a certain way that you can present yourself that doesn't look real. And you know that you can spot it when you're watching an episode of Catfish because
Yeah.
they'll show the picture of the
Yeah.
person and you're like, no way
Yeah.
are anyone's eyes that blue in life. That's not real. So what was poster number 1, I think.
Yeah. Post a recent
It's
photo
like-
that's flattering and actually looks
Look
like.
Yeah.
like an actual person.
And flattering doesn't mean airbrushed beyond
Right.
belief and
Right.
enhanced. In
Exactly.
fact, it's almost maybe better if it's just really bad lighting and you look and you're having a pretty good day.
Yeah,
just so that there's
a hand on your shoulder and your husband has been cropped out. Then we know.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing too.
And your wedding ring is blurred.
Yeah.
Your ring finger is just a blur. It's like, what's that?
It's like
just gone. I was wearing one black glove that day.
Black box across it. Oh,
yeah, but that's the thing too. Is some of these pictures are like old and fuzzy, and it's like, is this person even still on this app, or like there's a lot of things that because like I said,
it's a mugshot.
I downloaded it for the purposes of today, but I don't really go on that kind of stuff anymore. But it's just like I have me personally, I have better luck just meeting people in person.
Right. So you are dating someone right now, right?
We're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
You're
talking.
talking.
Oh, you're negotiating?
We're negotiating.
Your people are meeting?
Yeah. She sent over a contract. I didn't really like the figures, so we're gonna.
So would you say that it was worth it to be on those sites? Did you? Clearly it didn't necessarily work out now because you prefer to actually meet people in person. By the way, that's a very refreshing thing to hear. I'd rather talk to people one-on-one and get to know them.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on the cusp of like right when technology. I didn't grow up with an iPad. I didn't get my first smartphone until I was like 18 or something. Which kids watching right now are probably like, what? I had one when I was like 8 months.
It's in their crib.
Yeah.
But was it beneficial to go through that experience with the online stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's it's like a confidence booster, especially if you're like single. And I've been single for a couple years now, but I don't really have a problem with that because I've just like I've been going to school and like in acting and doing things, like working on myself and stuff like that. And so it doesn't really bother me that much. But there are times where everybody loves the comfort of somebody else. So there are times where you're just like, oh, it's nice to talk to somebody who we have a mutual obviously we both swiped on the same profile, so
yeah.
So it was, it was beneficial for sure in that aspect.
All right.
So it teaches you about yourself, and maybe it helps you kind of present yourself, and maybe it's sort of in line with your online presentation of yourself in terms of looking for a career or looking for jobs, or just like how am I going to put my best foot forward to succeed in life. And online dating is kind of part of it, where this show exists because we do sort of live part of our life online, and then that part of our life overlaps with everything that's offline in lots of different ways.
Well, it's a very especially for guys who don't really or maybe not even that are not that confident talking with women, or vice versa, women not that confident talking with men. It's very like cool to be talking with somebody, and then like you can kind of like, it's almost like doing stand-up. Like you try a joke so many times until you find the right way that it works. And it's like you'll start interacting with these women or men, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then sometimes it works. And then, it's nice to find like that happy medium to where like, I think it helped me a little bit when I started going out and talking to people in person, because I was just like, all right, well,
I can see breaking the ice is the hardest part of any of that. Like like you were saying, the very first line, the very first thing you say to somebody, at least this kind of most awkward part gets done in a way that's a little more formal, as opposed to like the bar situation, which is, screaming over music, trying to figure out, there's 3 other guys trying to hit on somebody. It's just the personal dynamic there. At least you do kind of get that. We already know a little bit about each other, so you can kind of move inches ahead to getting to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
But,
because,
still freaks me out.
Took a girl out once, like we were talking back and forth on that app for like a while, and so she got to know a little bit about me, and I got to know a little bit about her. So then when we went out, we had like, so tell me about that story. Like that must have been crazy. And then,
you had conversation starters.
Yeah, it wasn't like those conversations, like when you be dating in high school or something like that, where you're like,
oh,
cool.
Anyway, remember that joke?
Yeah.
Devon used to do a joke about dating in middle school, where you could be dating someone you've never actually met. Just because someone came up to you and said, "Do you like so and so?" and you were like,
I guess.
"Yeah, I guess." And now you're dating.
Dating.
And then like 3 years later, you're like,
so
I'm Devon. I guess we're dating. It's nice to meet you. That happens in high school. So we were going to play a lot of videos, and we had some stuff, but I think that we should get into what's really happening today, which is that it's Halloween.
Yeah.
But Larry, did you want to share some of your online finds? Like you had
Well,
you found the best fan ever.
Yeah, I did. I would like to go to that video because it was from Sunday night's game. Now,
Yeah.
depending on when people are listening to this, it's going to be after Halloween, and the World Series may be decided. But we just had a crazy game between the Dodgers and Astros on Sunday, and as we're recording this, they're about to start game 6.
Five.
5.
6 is tonight, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're about to play 6 tonight.
Yeah.
So from Game 5 on Sunday, there was a moment that I happened to catch in the moment live that happened at Minute Maid Stadium in Houston when who do you remember who hit the home run?
I think it was Yasiel Puig.
Was it Puig? That's right, because it was that one, kind of that straight line right to the corner.
Right, yeah.
And Puig hit a home run. And I actually retweeted something from Brooks Wheelan, a comedian who was doing his own running commentary as this ball went into the stands. And do you have that ready, Thomas? And I did a little research on it because I just thought the scenario was it went by so quick, and the commentators didn't say anything about it. I don't think it just kind of happened.
Okay.
So
let's watch it.
This is the video off of Brooks' very own TV, and there's Brooks' website,
or
his
Twitter feed.
Twitter feed, and
he's tweeted since then. It turns out.
Yeah, he's done that. So, all right, we're going to reopen the link.
Okay.
So basically, what happens is Puig hits a home run. It goes directly into the stands, and even if it's a World Series, it's a pretty big deal if you catch a ball in the middle of a World Series.
That's a two-run homer, and one of them. I mean, I think that game had the most home runs combined ever.
And that's kind of a historic thing.
Yeah.
So this is what happens during
This is my
the
favorite
game.
fan I've ever seen. Just a full psychopath.
But it gets caught.
Yay, how fun. My wife got it. No.
So basically, woman catches it.
A woman catches
the man
it?
next to her is like, got it, and going, yeah. And the guy next to him goes, let me have that, and throws it back into the field of play because it was hit by the opposing team. And so the tradition, I think it was probably started by the Cubs, but it's happening at most stadiums around the country now in baseball, is if the team you're trying to beat hits a home run and you're in your home stadium, you throw that sucker back in. But it's a World Series, and so some people are going to go, yeah, okay, but Yasiel Puig, and he's a pretty big player,
a ball,
and
I
it's
caught
a
it.
World Series,
World Series home run ball.
But here's the backstory. I mean, it's one thing where, because the guy, if you look at it, he like flexes when he's done. He's like, no way,
not on my watch.
So it turns out that those people were related, actually, which makes it even better.
Okay.
Her name was Sarah Head. Poor girl. Grown up with that, unless that's her married name. The overzealous fan that yanked the ball away and threw it back in is her brother-in-law. So it was her husband that was standing next to her. And his only defense for his actions was, F the Dodgers. That was it.
Beautiful.
He's not apologizing at all.
The elegance.
And the husband was only upset because he actually wanted the woman to be able to throw it back. So she missed her opportunity to grab it, get the glory. What you do, here's what happens.
Okay.
If you catch a ball, you know you're going to be on camera. So you take a moment to revel in the glory of, look at me, I'm on camera, and then do your defiant action.
Right.
But this guy went right to defiant actions. Like, give me that.
Yeah, his instincts just kicked right into gear.
Yeah. Now, so he didn't like hurt the
It was
game
like
or do
it was
anything.
like a live grenade.
Yeah.
Like get it out of here.
So I mean, whether she actually would have thrown it back or not, we don't know because
we don't
Kirk
know.
didn't let that opportunity arise. But
Kirk.
I just
Kirk.
think so.
Kirk.
He's
Really,
like
Kirk?
He got the label of best/worst fan ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, see, I love the backstory because to me it just looked like someone caught a ball and threw it back. That's all I saw.
No, there was so much going on.
So many
there.
layers, and
no
intrigue,
kidding.
and
No,
nuance.
You could do a whole Netflix multi-episode series on those.
30,
Yeah.
30 for 30.
And in my version,
Animate the diagram
she's
of it.
married to Murray Head one night in Bangkok. That's
Wow.
in my version
Okay.
of the story.
And then you have to kind of go with that side trip on what's he been doing since
Sure.
chess.
Why aren't we writing this down? I
He
think we
gets
got a
his
hit.
kicks above the waistline,
I'm
Sunshine.
making
That's
mental
one thing
notes.
you should
Yeah,
remember.
there you
That's
go.
right. So you quoted Hamilton and chess tonight.
I did.
Wow, disparity of musical theater history
We're
tonight.
geeks.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. I'm
own
going to
it.
launch into something from Spring
All right.
Awakening anytime
And
now.
Another thing, please do. So
sing
another
the
thing
girl
Larry
part, sorry.
found was for Halloween. There's something called the death calculator.
Well, the first thing I looked up, because I thought it is Halloween, again, as we're recording this, not only a Dodger game tonight, but it is Halloween, and it turns out, now when you Google creepiest sites on the internet, you got to be really careful when you Google something
Yeah.
like
I can
that.
imagine.
There'd be a lot of maggots, I would imagine.
Yeah, I discovered the dark web, and I've been marked for life. No, there
I bought a bazooka.
There are some really dark websites, like
Wow.
a website that compiles and curates plane crash information. There's one that I think is called Goodbye Warden, which is keeping a running tabulation of inmates' last words before they're executed in prison.
Wow.
There's some even weirder stuff I don't even want to talk about, even on this place. But there was one that was a death calculator that took information from your kind of specific... and here's the thing. I found 2 death calculators. One of them has me passing away in 40 years.
Of
It gave me an option. It said,
well then.
It said illness, fire, and something else.
Oh,
So
insect bite?
I don't know.
Okay.
The other one, however, said I was going to live to 78.
I think it's more likely that you'll live to 98, Larry.
That's what I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But if you want, does anybody want to calculate their death? Can we do Devon real quick?
Oh,
Let's do
yeah.
Devin.
All right. Do you know? Can we type?
Do I know
in,
my birthday?
Yeah. Let's.
Ooh, look at how
Let-
it's so inviting.
Yeah, I know.
The theme.
It's very basic.
It looks
What's your
like you.
What's your birthday, Devon?
September 26th, 1990.
All right. So they've got. I think they're British. So
It's the
it
kind of
goes-
site that looks like it will come out of the screen and stab you.
Yeah.
Here's when you're going to die. Now.
It almost looks like if I didn't
you
know
said
better.
September
Yeah, September 26th,
26th,
1990.
1990.
If I didn't know better, the color scheme kind of reminds me of like the Brendan Fraser mummy movies. You know what I mean? Like,
For anything Pirates of the Caribbean.
oh yeah, pirates for sure.
See this?
Yeah. Can you see it?
I cannot see. It's
All
so
right.
small.
It may not be worth it. Poor Devon.
What
Well,
else
it's
would it-
I
Switch it over to your screen.
Yeah, you can flip it back and whoop, and there's our mixer.
Hey, there's our mixer, kids. If you're playing at home,
Yeah.
we should have it where people at home can like pod people up and down. Like, yeah, enough out of Larry. I'm done.
Whatever information you need, Thomas, just shout it out, and Devon will
how
fill
tall
it.
are you?
5'8".
All right. It's going to ask for your weight, so have that ready. Be thinking about that.
I'm a cool 140. I think.
Oh, look at you.
I actually gained like 5 pounds ever since I quit smoking.
I was going to say.
5-10 pounds. when I quit.
Cigarettes, alcohol, drugs.
Alcohol.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I quit smoking.
Oh, you did?
It's been almost 2 years.
But you have been a smoker. I
Yeah.
think we got to find.
I don't know
we
if
got
that's
a great.
a-
Okay,
check
let's.
if that's
let's
the thing, then check all 3 of those because
no,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
don't. Because if I'm going to die in 5 years and I don't do any of those things,
All right, that's it.
what else?
That's it.
that's it.
Okay, click and let's
That's
see.
all they want to know.
All right, let's see what happens.
Let me-
Don't they want to know if you like have a pet cobra?
Need my social.
I mean, I think that would factor in.
All right, Devon, are you ready?
Yeah. When am I dying?
2040.
2040.
Pretty good run.
What day?
16th of January.
Okay. Don't book any.
2040?
Don't book anything too special.
That's not very far away.
Yeah, how old is he going to be?
That'd be 60.
Yeah, see this one.
You're
This
trying
one,
to
expects,
Terrifying.
barely.
this one expects
pass math.
everybody to die pretty quick.
Yeah,
This
they're-
was the same site that said I was going to die in 4 years.
But you
Why are they
guys,
killing off their customers?
y'all emailed that link earlier, and I did it at home, and it
Yeah.
said I was gonna die September 11th, 2044. So
Oh, you're losing
I
time.
I
think-
lost a day.
There's
Somehow
a
in the past day, I lost
possibility
4 years.
That the results are completely random.
it might have
That
been.
might be
It
true.
might have been doing this podcast that took some years off your life, though. Just this
Taking
conversation.
an Uber from Orange
Yeah,
County.
the Uber, the traffic from Orange County up here.
Yeah, just the drive through West Hollywood with all the streets closed
Yeah.
down today. I know I shaved off a couple.
All right, so John Maddox found
Yes.
a nice closing video for us.
This
You
is
want to set
perfect.
this one up, John?
Yeah, here. Is this on? Well, this actually goes back quite a ways before YouTube, believe it or not.
What?
And
Devon, there was a time before YouTube.
Oh, I remember.
Oh.
and this was one of those videos that would
used to go
get
to
passed
Newgrounds.
around. It'd get passed around from emails. And maybe it did. Yeah, I think it actually started before YouTube, and then it found its way on YouTube.
YouTube.
But put it this way, this video itself, because it's a little grainy, it's been on YouTube for 11 years. So it goes back a while. And apparently it's a car commercial. I actually tried to find out some info on it, and I couldn't.
But the legend is that they somehow caught a ghost on when they were shooting the commercial, right?
Right.
So you have to look really closely.
Go ahead and describe the video, Jasper. What happens?
Does the car look?
They
I'm not gonna tell you because
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
going.
Yeah, there's reason to believe, or legend has it, that somehow a ghost was captured in this innocent
car commercial.
car commercial. Yes.
Paranormal activity.
So watch carefully
Right.
to see if you can
Yeah.
spot
You
the
gotta get
ghost.
close
This
to
is
the-
gonna be funny.
Because it's grainy. Because it's grainy, you have to get up close to the screen too.
Yeah.
All right.
Stand by.
Look,
It's actually a nice looking car.
yeah, watch carefully. See if you see it.
Bucolic setting.
It could be behind any one of
Could be
those
behind
trees. Yeah.
I didn't even know ghosts came out during the day. There it is. Oh,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I
I saw
have
it.
to go change my shorts.
Dang
That's
it.
the perfect time to wrap things up. I
Well,
think.
thank you so much
Since
for
we've
being
all
with us,
soiled
and we
ourselves.
will see you next time. Please subscribe and give us a nice review in the iTunes because you're our favorite listener.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry Morgan,
Thank you,
Devon
Devon.
Suraco, John
Thank you.
Maddox, Jasper
Thank you so
Maddox,
much.
and Tommy Hubs,
T-Hubs.
T Hubs,
T-Hubs. Yo,
Hubble.
T-Hubs.
Bye bye, everybody. I'm Louise Palanker. Goodbye.
Bye.